1 o'clock and the recording has started.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hayward St. Clair, and I'm just part of the Prairie View A&M University recruitment team. I have the rest of my team coming on as well. First and foremost, again, we want to thank you for allowing us to grace your presence, and we're going to have fun with this. We're going to lay down some ground rules. First and foremost, if I may, Miss Aisha, let them know how we roll on the heel. First rule, there's no such thing as a silly question. I want you guys to get involved, get interactive, because we feed off of energy down here in this little known place in Waller County that you have known to call Prairie View A&M University. So first of all, there's no such thing as a silly question. My team and I will do our best to answer any and all questions that come about, and we will leave our contact information. So if we don't get to it, don't feel shunned. Feel free to email me, and I'll definitely get the information out to you so that you can get it, because that's what we're here for, to facilitate any questions that you might have about this little school that was started, about 144 years ago, that we take so much pride and pleasure in. So we're going to start off. I'm going to introduce my team that is here. We're definitely a family at Prairie View, so that not only extends to you students, but this is how we work at the campus. And of course, you've met my director, Colonel Mark Pearson. He's here. My counterpart, Mr. Jonathan McKissick, is also here. And let me see if anybody else from the Prairie View team has joined us. Okay, so it's just the three of us. Okay, so we're doing well. So what I'm going to do is first, we're going to start this session off with some energy the way we do off of Highway 290. It's our calling response. When I say PV, I want everybody to chime in. So Ms. Jackson, let them know I need those mics unmuted, because I need to feel that energy. Jonathan, are you ready? Colonel Pearson, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Fired up and ready.
Go. 1, 2, 3. PV!
You know.
All right, now we ready to rock. As DJ Easy Rock and Rob Bay said, I'm going to rock right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if I can, Ms. Aisha, and I'm going to do this presentation to give you guys a little bit more serious insight. We're here to have fun. We're here to interact with you, but this is where we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts. So students, I hope you're taking notes. And remember, any question that you have afterwards, feel free to give to us, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we will answer them. So let me get everything rolling. And everybody let me know if they can see it.
We can see it.
Okay.
For sure.
All right, here we go. All right, again, welcome to Prairie View. We're going to discuss a few key points when it comes to gaining admission through the enrollment process through Prairie View A&M University. And of course, because we are a Texas institution, the first enrolled is going through the State of Texas Common Application, which is applytexas.org. And for those of you that might have visited the site before, we also offer an inbound path through the website. When you tap the banner Future Students, you also have a link that still takes you to Apply Texas. I consider that the more fun way, because you're getting total exposure as you're going through the Prairie View app. So when you go under Future Students, that same Apply Texas link is available for you. And of course, what we need as far as your documents for you upcoming seniors that we're going to be definitely having our arms open to receive this coming fall, you're going to need your high school transcript, of course, or an official GED certificate. Yes, we will need ACT and SAT scores, and we'll get into that into the conversation after the presentation. I want you guys to get in the mindset of those of you, and I hope it's all of you that are pursuing scholarships. That's a key component, Panther Cubs, when it comes to consideration for your scholarships. And of course, the application fee is $40, and we do accept ACT, SAT, and NACAC waivers. All right, the minimum GPA requirement, of course, I don't have to worry about that from my DeSoto students, is a 2.8 GPA on a 4.0 scale. That's the unweighed scale. Okay, guys, that's the unweighed scale, 4.0 scale. So if you're operating on a weighed scale, we will convert it to the readability of a 4.0 scale. And again, that minimum is a 2.8 GPA. For the SAT scores, it is an 800. For the ACT, that's a 15 composite, and of course, automatic admissions for top 25, top 10 students. And I do want to remind you, even though we appreciate those beautiful brains that you're walking around with, you're automatically admitted, but we still need you to go through the application process, okay? So, but you are admitted automatically, and we want you to make sure you submit your full application program. And of course, with our dates, this is what's important. I know we get a lot of the questions for those students, particularly pursuing scholarships. Our fall priority deadline is January 4th. So you're coming in at the right time. The applications opened up for you guys August 1st. And I want you to write this upcoming date down again. August 1st was the open application date for you guys to start applying. October 1st is the FAFSA opening date. So you get your application in order, and as you're applying, remember, mark this on your calendar, guys. October 1st is when you apply for your FAFSA. When it comes to your FAFSA, your parents as well as yourself are going to need to create a PIN, but we'll get into that along the way. And of course, Ms. Aisha can help you as well as your other supporters at DeSoto to help get you on point with that. The traditional fall day, March 1st, of course, and the document deadline is the 15th. But those of you that are definitely pursuing scholarships, and we encourage you all to, is January 4th, okay? And those of you that are considering coming in the spring, of course, it's still the traditional October 1st date, and the deadline is October 15th. Summer school, okay, or summer regular admissions, then I should say, is going to be March 1st. Okay, now we do accept transfer admissions, but this is more so for students that are already in a community college setting. I know those of you are asking, those of you who are taking dual credit, when you come in, you still are considered a freshman student. So this doesn't apply to you per se, because we know with those beautiful minds of yours, you're already taking dual credit and you're knocking it out the box with your high school courses as well as your community college courses. But incoming, you're still considered a freshman. And of course, these are the align dates for our transfer students. So we're going to go ahead and bypass that. Okay, now once you start getting information into us, you will start receiving correspondence from the university. So once you submit your Applied Texas application, you're going to get an acknowledgement from Applied Texas. Okay, then you're going to get an acknowledgement from the university. And it's going to give you the directions as far as what you need to do to set up your account. You're going through Panther Place or Panther Tracks, and it's going to allow you to check your status. Now, what we always encourage you guys to do once you start the application process and you get your acknowledgement emails, as the university recruiter, I always encourage you guys to check your student email a minimum of twice a week, okay, because it's going to be information pertaining to your particular profile that you need, whether it's some more documents that need to be updated or things that we're doing to let you know that we're keeping current with your application status, okay? And of course, the most important question that we get, what is financial aid? Well, financial aid are the funds provided to assist students and families to help pay for their post-secondary educational expenses. So yes, there is financial aid available for you guys. And of course, remember that important date that I want you guys to mark on your calendar, which is October 1st, is when the free application for federal student aid opens up. What's the date, Mr. St. Clair? October 1st. Mark it on your calendar. And that's where you will begin the application process. So you're wondering what financial aid is, because most oftentimes people think of financial aid as just what is the derogatory, and it's not derogatory, but it's part of the financial aid package, which are your student loans. And of course, we encourage you to keep those good grades up so that you minimize your use of loans and you can utilize scholarships, okay? So, but this is what financial aid consists of. It consists of federal grants, work study, scholarships, and loans. So when you mention financial aid, I don't want you guys to get put in a abysmal mindset because you're thinking loans, repaying 50, 60, 70 years down the line. No, no, no. Loans, we do encourage you to use if needed. And they are put in place to assist you with paying for your education. But loans, work study, scholarship, and federal grants are what constitute financial aid, okay? And of course, as I just mentioned, lo and behold, there it is. What is the date, Mr. St. Clair? October 1st. Here is the school code, write it down. But of course, when you're applying, it gives you the option when you hit what school you're looking for, it will pre-populate the school once you start typing it in. But for those of you that are going to be proactive, the number here is 3630, but it's giving you a 6-digit slot. So you're going to have to put the digits in ahead of time. But 3630 is Prairie View school code. As I mentioned, you're going to have to create a FAFSA pin as well as your parents, okay? And the priority funds, let's get that out in the clear. Priority funds, it coincides with Prairie View's priority deadline when it comes to scholarships. I want you guys to remember, we would love to be able to facilitate all of you coming to Prairie View with scholarships, but they are first come, first serve. Again, scholarships are first come, first served, and they're based off of availability. Excuse me, woman, I got to charge up.
One other thing, if I could just add about those scholarships.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Is that, you know, you want to get yourself admitted by that priority deadline. They're going to take a look at you. They're going to look at when you applied. They're going to look at your GPA, and they're going to look at your SAT score, and they're going to get an order of merit list, and they're going to go down that list and make an order. Everyone, you got to get yourself, you got to apply, do the things that you can control to influence where you come out on the OML. That's your grades, how early you apply, that you control, okay? And getting yourself admitted prior to the priority deadline, and then let the process work for you. But I wanted to make sure I say that to you. That's important. And scholarship-wise, don't only apply for scholarships at Prairie View, but we got third-party scholarships that are on the website. Apply for those. Young people, I would recommend go to the website or go Google the word scholarship, and whatever comes up, apply for those. And each week, research a new scholarship and apply for it. Some of these scholarships, you'll be surprised at what they want to offer money to students for. And some of those will come to you directly to you. And some, if you win, could come to the university in your name and the university's name. So not only expand your search past our website and do some research. If you just invest some time in that, you'd be surprised at how much $50 here, $500, $1,000, $2,000 starts to add up. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes, it does. And just to give you a slight break, I bypassed this video portion. Don't hold it against my head, hold it against my heart. Let me go ahead and play this to give you guys what it is that you have to look forward to at the university.
Hey, did you turn the sound on?
Hey, do you hear it?
All right, just a little bit of what you have to look forward to when you make that trip down to Prairie View on the little side of Waller County. And here's some of the things we're known and we're acknowledged for around the state as well as in the region.
Awesome. Is
I
Has
think
everybody-
it did.
yeah. I don't know if we lost Haywood. Jonathan, are you there? Is anybody here or did I lose?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I
Um,
was sure if it had froze on everyone.
Yes, it did freeze, and I don't even see him on here
I
anymore.
don't either. We may have lost them.
That's why we have the backups. So, but pretty much what that video was showing was our from the top is which shows all of our past year accolades. But the ones that we really want to point out to you students and families and parents and counselors is that we are the #1 producer of engineers in the state of Texas. And also for our School of Architecture, we graduate the most minority architects in the nation. We also have a phenomenal college of nursing school. And we actually have our own college of nursing campus, which is downtown Houston in Medical Center as well. Now, you guys seen the admissions process. The college of nursing is going to be the only other college that has a separate application process. So how the college of nursing works is you would come in as a pre-nursing student, and then you would apply to our college of nursing program and then matriculate to downtown Houston in the medical center as well. And that's where you finish up your next 2 years of your BSN. We also have the College of Business as well. So that has like your accounting, finance, business. Then we also have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our largest college. And that'll compose of your biology, your history, your English, was your poli-sci as well as sociology as well too, as well. That's another option to choose from. Then we also have the College of Education. So that'll include your interdisciplinary studies as well as your health, as well as your kinesiology, showing my students interested in going into athletic training or physical therapy as well too. So that's what that brochure kind of went over is our different colleges and a lot of their accolades within that specific college as well too. Anything you want to add, Colonel?
Just some data points. Our current enrollment right now is 9,526 students. Our freshman class is just shy of 2,000 students. Our student-teacher ratio is 18-to-1. Average class sizes are going to be about 37, 38. Obviously, virtual, they may be a little larger. We have, I want to say, 30 majors, 36 minors, and we have students that have come from 43 countries. When you think of Prairie View, you think of it being a small institution. It's growing. It still is a small institution, but no students left behind. And so We think it has a great family atmosphere. It's a shame that we can't show it to you right now due to the current COVID-19 situation, but we're working on updating our YouTube visit so that you can look at it virtually. And as soon as we get that up and up to date, we'll get that out so you can see exactly what the university looks like today. Anything else you want to add to that, Jonathan?
Just to kind of touch on the application process once again, our application is available now through applytexas.org. So the information you've seen earlier, those are going to be our actual admissions processes and requirements. I know some universities are waiving like the ACT or SAT. At this time, Prairie View, we are still considering the ACT or SAT for admissible purposes as well. So you still want to get the transcript in and your test scores, the application fee or fee waiver, and you can apply to applytexas.org. During the application process, you don't have to have everything turned in at the same time. We highly encourage you to do so, but the first thing we will ask is that you do submit that ApplyText application. So they create you an account, it's going to put you in our system. And then as your test scores and your transcript come in, we can apply that to your application. And once we get all the documentation in, it usually takes about 7 to 10 days to render a decision based off the items that you submitted. We don't require like a resume or a cover letter or a letter of recommendation. Those are going to be considered optional. But if you do submit them to the Office of Admissions, they will apply that to your account as well. So just kind of wanted to kind of clear up that admissions and also kind of COVID-related changes through other universities' admissions processes in comparison to Prairie View as well. But at this time, we'll go ahead and open it up for you all's questions. If you have any questions of us for the university or the admissions process or how we're dealing with COVID or anything in those regards.
Just a quick admin announcement. Ms. Jackson, I think Mr. Sinclair is trying to get back in. I don't know if you see him, but if you do.
Oh, here it is. I'm admitting him now.
Thank you.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, young people, come on. What are your questions? Are they going to put them in the chat or are they going to say them?
Students, you can ask, or students and parents, you can ask your questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves. You shouldn't have any trouble unmuting. If you do, please let me know. But please feel free to ask your questions at this time. There's no silly questions. Okay.
We got one. It says, how is your communications department at PV, meaning like media production, film, etc.? Jonathan.
Yes, great question. So we do have to communicate. We actually have the language and communication department to be specific. So we do have radio. We have KPVU that's actually streamed online. It's similar to SiriusXM. If you log onto their website, you listen to the radio. That's exactly how our PV radio is as well. We also have the Panther News, which is going to be our newspaper outlet that a lot of our students get to work on as well too. And then we also have a marketing department within the College of Agriculture. A lot of our comm majors get to actually practice and actually film some of the College of Agriculture's any news outlets or any information that's coming from that college. They can also get hands-on opportunities there. And there's also opportunities in the sports communication area. We're part of the SWAC conference in Division I. So a lot of our comm majors also get the opportunity to actually join in and help with all of our commentators, with our camera crew, and also with our marketing communication department for the university as well. It's a 4-year degree as well, and within the comm department as well. And Mr. St. Clair actually just dropped the link so you can look over the degree plan within the language and communications department. There's also a couple language minors as well, which also always encourage students to do that. So we have Spanish as well as French, as well as Chinese as well too. So you have those options as a minor, and then that kind of help you become bilingual in your field, which will increasingly be more productive for you as you enter the workforce.
All right. What other questions we got out there? Well, how about after I get admitted, what's the next steps after being admitted?
So, so after you're admitted, there's going to be a checklist that we will provide to students And so in that checklist, the number one thing that a lot of students forget to do is going to be housing. At Prairie View, housing is a luxury. So you can actually start your housing process during your application process at the same time. The reason that the housing is critical because it's going to be the most expensive checklist item that you will need to complete for your upcoming fall semester. So in total it's $1,400. So it's $150 for the application to apply for housing. Next is going to be what's called a rental pre-installment fee of $650. Once the $650 and the $150 are paid, that is what secures your room for the fall. Okay. So once again, $150 application fee, and then $650 of your rental pre-installment fee will need to be paid in order for you to secure your room for the fall semester. And then depending on when you apply, the next deadline date or next application fee date is August 1st. August 1st, you would pay another $650 as well. And then that's where you can start into the semester. So that's the first thing. Second is going to be your meningitis. And meningitis is going to be a state regulation. You've probably had the meningitis shot prior to even attempting to go to a university. They're good for 5 years, so you want to check with your local physician's office. And it's simply covered by healthcare as well. But if you don't have a local physician, you can also get it administered on Prairie View's campus, as well as like the CVS or Walgreens, for example. Third would be the TSI, which is short for the Texas Session Initiative exam. And that's going to be a college-based readiness exam. We do have exemptions. Ms. St. Clair, if you could put the TSI link on there as well.
Sure will. Definitely will.
So you can be exempt based off your ACT or SAT test scores, as well as your STAR exam that you take in high school. There are certain criteria for the STAR. Let's say you're not college ready based off of those exemptions, then that's when you will go and take the TSI, which consists of 3 sections: the reading, writing, and math sections. And some students can be college ready for math. So if you're college ready for math, you only have to take the reading and TSI. And we will work with you all through that checklist process for the TSI. So that would be the third item. The fourth item is going to be for any of my students that are going to be receiving veteran assistance benefits. So if you're getting Hazelwood or GI Bill, that's also part of the next checklist item if that applies to you. We will get you in contact with Mr. Bowie so you can get your paperwork and everything processed as well. So those are going to be the critical next steps areas. And then last but not least will be the register for orientation when registration becomes available. As Mr. St. Clair mentioned earlier, we do have our party deadline date, which is January 4th. That doesn't mean that orientation will be available on January 10th. Usually it's open up until March or April. So that's when you can apply for orientation. You have to apply for orientation for you to start the process of enrolling in classes and growing from a Panther cub to a full-fledged Panther, okay? So those are gonna be the steps during our checklist items. Great question.
All right, there is another question here. It's 2 questions. One is I'm more interested in your College of Juvenile Justice and Psychology. What can I expect from this department? And then the other one is kind of more broader. It says, how is your process of dealing with college credit as a high school student receiving their associate's degree? Which, take the last one and then go back to the first one I just said, more broader. I bet you we have a lot of kids that are coming from DeSoto with college credit.
Yes. And yes, you guys are go-getters. That is amazing. And so how it works is you would apply as an incoming freshman, but you would also send us your collegiate transcript. We need your collegiate transcript because we need to confirm those courses that you've taken as well as your credits. And then the third step is to articulate them. We have to articulate your coursework, which simply means we're going to take that community college credit and then we're going to convert it into a Prairie View credit to apply it to your degree plan, okay? And then also if you have your associate's degree, your collegiate transcript will say degree conferred and it'll have the actual year date on it. So we can acknowledge that you have the associate's degree, which means you would have received at least a minimum of 60 hours as well. And so you would submit that collegiate transcript during your application process. The earlier the better because the articulation process does take a little bit longer. On average, it can take anywhere from 7 to 10 days to articulate a college transcript as well, definitely with having that many number of hours. And that's for any of our students. So if you have any dual credit that have 6 hours of credit, all the way up to 60 credit hours, we would need that collegiate transcript as well. And then we would apply to your degree plan, and you would see on the PV's transcript that following semester. So you will see it in the spring as well, if you were to request a transcript.
So you would say, Jonathan, that the key to making sure those college credits are articulated prior to coming to orientation and registering for classes or doing orientation virtually is signing up for orientation after you get admitted. Is that correct?
That's correct. Dependent on when orientation opens their application. So the earlier the better. So if you can get that transcript in during your application process, as soon as you get admitted, turn that college transcript in, and those courses can still be in progress. So let's say you've already registered for the spring semester, but you're trying to apply to Prairie View before the priority deadline date of January 4th, then you can still turn in that college transcript, and we will acknowledge that you have those courses in progress, and then you would send us an updated transcript so we can ensure that you did pass those courses as well. I also want to reiterate for any of my students that are interested in nursing, okay, you can't transfer any Ds, okay, to be admitted to the College of Nursing. So keep that in mind as you're taking dual credit, or if you have any dual credit courses, if you're trying to go into a nursing program, they don't accept any Ds. So just wanted to put that out there as well too, for any of our students coming in with those clean transcripts. But turning that college transcript early is going to be effective, and it's going to help your registration process a lot smoother in the long run.
And the other piece of that is that you're still admitted as an incoming freshman, and you're still going to be looked at for freshman scholarships, i.e. the Regents or Presidential, which is a scholarship if you win based on your GPA, SAT scores, and when you applied, it's for 8 semesters. If you come with an associate's degree, it shouldn't take you eight semesters to graduate because you're half the way there. But wanted to make sure you understand that. The second question, again, just to kind of brush your memory on it, was I am more interested in the College of Juvenile Justice and Psychology, and what can I expect from that department? So I think they actually said I'm more interested in the College of Psychology and Juvenile Justice. So I think they might be interested in psychology, maybe. Maybe.
So at Prairie View, those 2 disciplines are going to be under the same college. So you can major in psychology. You can also major in criminal justice. And then we also have juvenile justice as well. So if you want to work with adolescents, anyone under the age of 18, within the juvenile system, we also have that option as well too. One major highlight of that Pacific College is on the 3rd floor. We do have a mock courtroom. So that's where a lot of our students get the opportunity to get their hands-on training. And also our student conduct office sometimes will go up and use that courtroom as well, and let our students actually do the trial based on the actual case at hand, just as an example. But be prepared. That's going to have a lot of reading as well, a lot of literature, a lot of history as well too. And the psychology piece of it is you get to learn that interaction, you get to learn body language. You also get to learn the way people think and what their motives are and why they're doing that or why they're thinking that. And so it takes a holistic approach of how people think and how they interact with one another. They also have a lot of excellent internship opportunities as well too, through either paid internship or as well as a volunteer internship as well. And it's also in one of our newest academic buildings as well. So it's a very, very beautiful building. And when you stand right in front of it, it looks just like a regular courthouse with a lot of classroom amenities inside.
Thank you. What other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Chandler.
So I know you all mentioned the TSI, taking the students that need to take the TSI. What is your current process since the students can't physically come take the test? Do you all have an online platform, and what is the process at this time?
Got it. That's a great question. So right now we do offer a proctoring service, and essentially it's a third-party company that will administer the test virtually and they'll actually proctor it. There is an additional fee for it. I believe it's $20 that they'll actually proctor the exam for the student as well. I know these are seniors, so they will have the whole school year right now to do the TSI. We're not doing in-person TSI testing, but I believe some of the community colleges are. So you can check with Dallas College as well, or Tarrant. They might be able to might offer it in person, or might have another option to do it virtually as well.
Because currently we're working with the Texas College Bridge program, but I know you all aren't on the list to accept the credits from there just yet. But just for the other students that are, trying to take that test, I just wanted to know what your current process was. So we'll direct them to your website so they could set up the test with the proctoring company, or see if Dallas College will allow them to take it somehow in person.
Right, and if they do take it at Dallas College or anywhere else, we on our website we have a cross reference form, and so what that does, it gives us the ability to actually go on the College Board and actually pull their TSI scores, so they don't even have to submit anything, just the form. So it doesn't have to be on the transcript at all. We'll actually go in there and pull them ourselves.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What other questions?
There is one. What are the different concentrations for comm majors? So you have So you do have radio, television, and broadcast, as well as you do have business comm as well. So that's kind of like more like writing like business practices, business manuals, pretty much writing any business literature as well. And then of course you have your general comm as well, which is typically those students will get their undergraduate degree in communications, but then they'll go and get a specific degree in communications during their master's program as well. Those are the ones I can think off the top of my head, but also visit the link that Mr. Hayward St. Clair dropped earlier at around, it's a little.
And I'll drop it again, Mr. McKissick. When it comes to communication, what you want to focus on prior to coming to the university to allow us to help you is kind of figure out in your mind's eye what you're going into communications for, because there is media that's involved. And of course, we all know media is a broad term. So you will be expected to do writing. You will be expected to do both sound and video production in that. So I always advise you guys to make sure you have somewhat of an idea, or if you don't really have the specific idea, if you can name somebody in that industry, it will allow our deans, and this is across the board, no matter what major, communications, engineering, nursing, business, it will allow your dean to be able to visualize how they need to help you, so that as you're getting your schedules done, they can also recommend a plan of action for you to go along with the help procedure. But for communication, just remember, you're going to write, you're going to do video production, and sound production. Those are the basis of communication. So we want to make sure that you understand your English is going to have to be strong. And we know you got it. So just keep in mind, whatever it is you want to do in communications, you will do that once you get to Prairie View. If you're looking to be a newscaster, the focus will be on video, sound, and writing. If you're looking at sports broadcasting, similarly to that. So keep in mind what you want to do, kind of be able to elaborate upon that when you get to campus, so that that dean knows how to focus what your courses are going to be.
Great point.
What other questions do we have, guys? Come on.
Are there any
questions?
That was the last one I seen, but I know we hadn't touched on it, so I just want to kind of bring this up. We also have an excellent study abroad program at Prairie View, okay? So we encourage our students to not only be focused on the America that we live in, because there's a lot of other cultures and a lot of innovations going on around the world. And so we want our students to be a product of that. And so we do encourage our students to go and study abroad credit as well. So you can go over to Greece and study over there for maybe a summer term. That'll be about 35 days. You could do a semester long program. And we also have students that actually do a full year, which is going to be a fall and spring, and they're taking classes in a whole nother country. And it's very imperative, especially for like comm majors as well, to be able to learn some of the dialogue and see how they operate. Same thing with their criminal justice or psychology. That's also a great opportunity to vast your knowledge in those areas, because you'll be able to incorporate different cultural strategies that some people over here in the States might not know, but since you had that study abroad opportunity, you can bring that to the forefront and actually apply it, and it'll help you within your career.
Well, no one's asked, but can you tell me a little bit about student life?
Yes, so at Prairie View, we have fun, but we also get business done. We don't expect you, this is just reality. So you won't be sitting with your head in the book 24/7. So have to go out and experience how that college experience. So we do have a lot of really famous events. One is going to be homecoming. Two is Spring Fest, which is similar to homecoming, but it's in the spring semester. And then we also have what's called Hump Day, which kind of gives students a little break in the action. Classes are not canceled, but if you don't have a class between 12 and 1, we encourage students to come out and listen to music, have ice cream, have a good time, and that's every Wednesday. We do have over 130 student organizations to be a part of, whether that's Greek life, social organizations, religious organizations, social justice organizations as well. And then we also have our off-base chapel, so you can continue your ministry on campus as well too. So we really encourage students to become a part of that. Then we also have Panther Plaza, so you can go and bowl. They have pizza. There's they brew Starbucks coffee on campus as well too. So that's a lot of fun and engagement there as well. We have the rec center, so you can go swimming, go rock climbing, go on a hiking trip, or you can take a hip hop dance class. There's 3 basketball courts. You can go in there and play basketball if you would like. And then we also have the park on campus, and the park is where you can just kind of congregate outside, play volleyball, tennis as well too, and just kind of kick back and have that leisure time. So there's a lot of things to do on campus. It's a lot of fun. If you go on any type of media, you'll be able to see how we have a good time, but we also produce productive people at the same time. And so that's the main goal, is to have fun and also get a very, very genuine and great education at a great institution.
And if I could, Mr. McKissick, Colonel Pearson, what I want to definitely encourage the students do, as Prairie View students, there is a support system for you. We do have mentoring programs in order to help align you with your purpose in life, and more so speaking to those students that are wondering as far as the transition of home away from home, we do have counselors available to you. And this is something I definitely want to make sure I emphasize, that no matter what you're encountering as a PV family member, we can assist you. We do have people on board that will help you maneuver through whatever challenges you may face, and to your security, it stays in-house, of course, due to FERPA and HIPAA regulations, but you do have somebody there that you can speak to no matter what you may be encountering. We are a family, and this is how we survive at Prairie View, to make you, as Mr. McKissick said, a productive person. So feel free to ask. We are there for you.
Great. We have another question. It says, how can you get into the study abroad program?
Awesome. So it's going to be, the first thing is going to be GPA and the number of credit hours. So the minimum credit hours is going to be 30 credit hours with at least a 2.5 GPA. That's going to be the minimum requirement, okay? Then study abroad is offered through certain colleges. So let's say you want to go on a trip with the College of Business. They might have additional requirements for you to become a part of that program, as well as your advisor, and see what courses are being offered for that study abroad trip, to make sure that they're going to be applicable to your degree plan. 9 times out of 10, they will, because they can also be deemed active credit. And so you can definitely become a part of the study abroad. So after that, that's going to be the minimum requirements. They also require a personal essay. And that's just, you're basically going to pour your heart out and say, why? Why do you want to do study abroad? How is it going to benefit you? and your career goals, as well as your self-reflection as well. And then they review it, and you usually apply a year in advance, because within that year, we also are prepping our students to be ready to be on a study abroad. So we have Passport Caravan, which is essentially the first 130 students that sign up for it, they get a free passport, okay? And the passport equivalent is like $115, and it's good for 10 years. So you can have it in college, and you can utilize it after college as well too. Then we also take students through the culture of where they're going to be visiting, and so they learn the do's and don'ts as well. And then also make sure they understand the currency change. And then after that, it's going to be the booking of the itinerary with flights, hotels, and activities that are included in the study abroad trip. So that's essentially the process. You Ms. St. Clair already put the link out there as well too. So you can kind of look on the website and see different programs that they have went to, and then also all the applications are available on there as well too. And they do pop up on case by case basis, depending on when the college decides to put the study abroad opportunity on there. So great question.
Any other questions in the chat?
Hi, this is Charmaine. I'm a parent. I'm kind of I'm in two meetings right now, but so real quick, earlier you guys spoke about the application fee, which is $40. There is a HBCU college fair that's coming up on September the 19th, and it pretty much boasts about being able to apply for 55 HBCUs for $20. Is that gonna still be considered if you do it that way, or you much rather go through PV or the Apply Texas?
Ma'am, our application fee is going to be $40. We don't prescribe to that application that they're talking about. So yeah, the best way to do our app is to go through Apply Texas, fill out. You can either pay the fee online when you are applying, or you can we can give you the website where you can pay after the fact, or we do accept and the guys mentioned it, I want to say College Board fee waiver or NACAT fee waiver.
Great point. And you're probably referring to the HBCU Common App. And so, yeah, as Colonel mentioned, we don't prescribe to that one. But a lot of other HBCUs do use the HBCU Common App. But we don't. We only use the Apply Texas. So great. That was an excellent question.
Yes, it was.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Awesome. So in the meantime, if anybody's thinking of a question, I'm gonna put my contact information in the chat, just so we can always stay in contact as well.
If you'd like to have some information sent to you, you can just email Jonathan, or you can email askrecruit@PVAMU. Put that in there as well, and we'll get it, and we'll forward some information that we talked about today. And
I have recorded this session, so if someone missed it, they will see the recording.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is just the first time. I'm sure we'll be talking quite a bit between now and the end of the school year. You know, the key is kind of getting yourself admitted as quickly as possible, and then you open yourself up to and getting that FAFSA form in and getting it the school code so that we can see it, and so this process can keep moving right along. And we realize you're shopping schools. You're looking at there are over 3,000 colleges and universities across our country that can offer a quality education just as well as we can. We just ask the opportunity to show you the best that we have to offer. One of the things that we plan on doing a little different this year is our senior day on the Hill. We're going to add a majors fair component, guys. I haven't had a chance to tell y'all this, but I just got in a meeting and we discussed, we do it in the spring semester, and we decided we're going to try to add one in the fall as well, since we're in this virtual environment anyway, and the campus tour would be virtual, so maybe we can add that piece to it. That way, you get an opportunity to ask specific questions of those department heads in that specific major along with the students, and it's really neat to go to a majors fair versus a college fair. College fair are different colleges. Majors fair would mean every major that we had on campus would have a booth, and you would get an opportunity to visit them in their booth and ask college specific questions, which I think is really neat. All right.
And you all are our first, we call them Eagle Chats. So you're our first college of this school year host one. So
Well,
we will definitely have.
All right. I think that's a great way to start your year off with PV. Yes, sir. All right.
Yes, sir. And also, Aish, we did include our contact information. Mr. McKissick's contact information is in there as well as mine. So as always, as you know, we always discuss, feel free to reach out to us for any and everything PV. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we went through, but definitely we are here. So feel free, whatever you need concerning any and all things purple and gold, to reach out to us.
Is that our Carolyn Davis right there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis, did you want to say something since you're there?
I'm here. I think you guys did a great job. Including everything. There's nothing particularly new to add from the College of Business. For those students, I do have information. I can just kind of piggyback and say how great the study abroad programs are. I led a group of students to South Africa a couple of years ago, and that was like a life-changing experience. So we do have those education abroad tours. We were scheduled to go to Brazil, and probably 2 days, I think 2 days before we were supposed to leave, the pandemic happened. So we didn't get a chance to go to Brazil, but we're looking back to put that back in the rotation. But any of your students that may be interested in business, I did leave my information with Ms. Jackson. If she wants to pass, she can definitely pass that on to any prospective business students. And I don't think we touched upon probably the summer bridge programs, which is very important. The summer bridge programs, this year we did that virtually, virtual summer bridge programs. And so we had a lot of our departments participate in the summer bridge programs virtually. It was different, but it was still the students, we made sure the students got the same type of experience if they were there. And so I'm hoping, and my prayers are that, next year going forward for the summer bridge programs, if students interested in that, it will be a residential program again. So, but we do have the opportunity, should something happen, we do have that online version ready to go. So, but the summer bridge program is an excellent way to get your college careers jump started.
Yeah, did those students get laptops in that?
Yeah, they got laptops.
Wow.
They did get laptops. So, and I think it was over 300 students throughout the whole program that participated. So, again, another opportunity for your students, and we just hope to, get them there and get them on board to Prairie View as soon as we can.
Right. All right, well, Hayward, we're gonna turn it back over to you, buddy.
Well, again, it's been our pleasure. Anything DeSoto needs, Prairie View will be more than happy to lend in a purple and gold hand. I want to thank my director, Colonel Mark Pearson, my counterpart, colleague, homeboy, Mr. Jonathan McKissick, and Dean for jumping on. Remember, students, Ms. Jackson, if there's anything that you need from us, my email is in there. Dean, if you could drop a contact email in there for them for the College of Business. Mr. McKissick's contact information is on there as well. We appreciate any and everything that you guys are doing in DeSoto. We're waiting for you. Is ready, and we're ready to jump off your senior year. Be all that you can be. Ask plenty of questions, and we're going to close this out as we do, as we've been doing for 144 years. When I say it, you know how to give it back to me. 1, 2, 3, PV. No. DeSoto is glad to see you. Good luck. We're here for you. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.